How to help someone with borderline personality disorder. Borderline can be difficult to deal with, so that's why I wanted to share some tips on how you can help your loved one, or if you have borderline or been diagnosed with BPD, this is a helpful guide that you can share with a loved one to help them understand you, to help you see where you're coming from and how sometimes the way they communicate might not be helpful. So the first tip is communicate with your loved ones, because they generally want to help you even though sometimes they don't know how to. Create like a support system before you're in a crisis, before you're in an episode. Have a plan with them of, for example, have cues on so they know that you want to be alone, or if you need someone to help you or cheer you up a little bit, or have like a code where, because sometimes if you're like me that you don't know how to express at all what you're feeling at all or what you want or anything at all, you can have like a code system where you're like, I'm not feeling well, so I need my space. So if I tell you in the future, just leave me alone, do leave me alone, I need my space without you in it, basically. So they'll know that when you say, I need my space, they need to give you your space. And practice communicating what you need. You said, I'm feeling tired. I'm hungry, but I don't want to make myself anything to, can you help me? And even though at the beginning just saying it feels weird, icky, or uncomfortable, still do it. With time, you'll be able to be more assertive and express your needs. It just needs practice. And start noticing the red flags. Don't wait for a crisis. You can even communicate and say, I noticed that I'm starting to go there. I'm starting to feel low or depressed. So I'm just letting you know that I'm starting to feel, or this bother me, or can we talk about this? Practice listening to your loved one. Sometimes we just need to be listened to. Sometimes we don't want you to solve our problems. Sometimes we don't even want to hear your opinion. It's just going to make us more upset. So just practice listening. Sometimes we just want to feel heard. We just want to feel validated. So don't feel like you have to find a solution for everything. Sometimes we just want to be heard. And when we are trying to communicate or say or vent and we want you to listen, try not to answer with an argument, or don't try to be argumentative, because this could just fuel us. This could just makes us more upset. And I was talking a little bit about validation, and that's very helpful to make sure you tell your loved one with borderline that you know they're doing their best and you're confident that if they keep trying, express that you're confident, that you believe in your loved one, that they're gonna find the solution, that you believe in them. So express hope. You can communicate, but don't be lured into keeping secrets, or just be honest and say, you have to be honest with you. I can't keep any secrets. When you're talking to us, really observe us, to observe and notice any cues, any expressions, to understand us better, because sometimes you might miss that we actually are getting upset. You might miss that we're getting angry. So be observant. Know that your loved one is allergic. It's like an allergic reaction to criticism. So we're just allergic to criticism. So be mindful of how you're going to express something, so we don't feel like rejected, or like you're betraying us, or like you're not on our side. So just be sensitive to that, to not be overcritical or critical. Another very helpful tip is to notice the time when you're going to bring sensitive conversations. Uh, be mindful if it's a good time, or if the person is already not feeling well, maybe you don't want to add more stressors. A big one is don't tell your loved one how they should feel, because this is very invalidating and it really is a big trigger and it makes us feel even worse. Know that you don't have to solve all of our problems. Actually, you have to allow us to face our problems and be resourceful and figure it out ourselves, because otherwise you're not going to help us. We need to learn how to solve our problems in our lives, because if you are enabling them to be dependent on you, you're depriving them to learn to solve their own problems, our own problems, and sometimes we have to go through the consequences of the decisions we make to learn. Don't try to be always super logical with us. Sometimes what we feel or what we think sometimes not going to be completely logical. So it's just going to end to hours of painful conversations that really don't benefit us. And if you're always feeding into that, it could be a very you will be feeding this behavior, this like debate constantly. Notice if the person is not feeling good or is starting to feel emotionally dysregulated, to not respond with anger. It's like, don't respond with anger because they're upset or they're not feeling good. Don't respond with anger. Also be aware that don't validate the invalid. So what that means is that if someone is treating us with disrespect and you're there and you just let it happen, you are validating the invalid, because that should not be acceptable. We sometimes have maladaptive behaviors. We don't know how to respond, because sometimes, borderline could have developed because we were constantly mistreated. And when we're in the real world, right, and every day, then we are trying to relearn that that's not how we should have been treated. We're trying to relearn that we shouldn't treat ourselves like that either. And when we're in an environment that's happening, that's reinforcing invalidation, and that's not okay. And if you're a loved one and you're witnessing it and you don't do anything, you are invalidating. You are validating the invalid, which shouldn't be validated. And last but not least, if you are someone who's supportive and trying to help someone, a loved one with borderline, don't forget too that you have needs yourself, and that before you can help anyone, like the analogy of when you're in a flight, you need to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you can help anyone else. Make sure you don't neglect or, make yourself an afterthought or stop practicing self-care. You will be able to be there for your loved one even better when you are taking care of yourself. So I just wanted to mention that it's very important. And don't forget that I offer dialectical behavior therapy classes online. They're self-paced and you can start today. And I have EFT and mindfulness and many other classes that you can check them out at bossofmyfeelings.com. And while you're there, you can download a sample of my book, a sample of a chapter. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care.